All right, Group 3, Coach Greg here. Week 4 already. Starts continued. Just recapping on what we've done over the past weeks. We had our focus on Week 1 is boat speed. Week 2 is mark rounding and lay lines. As we move into Week 3, last week we had starts. And as we move into this week, more starts. So this drill is going to be focused on enhancing your starts, learning from what we see was taking place last week. If you haven't looked at your video of you and your starts, please go out and take a look at that and be your own best critique there. We'll continue to capture video, but use that to help improve your skills in these drills. Okay, so some basic rule situations here. So we port starboard situation. Very, very common on a race course. So we've got a port boat number 2 and a starboard boat number 1. They came together and a collision happened. Who do you think's at fault? Obvious answer is the port boat. Should have avoided the collision. You're correct. But the starboard boat is also at fault because they did not avoid a collision. You should take all action to avoid a collision, even if it requires you to tack to avoid collision. So if you were to protest hearing, both boats would be found at fault. More than likely, the port boat would be found to have more fault in this situation, but both boats would be at fault. Okay, let's re-rack this and start the scenario again. But this time, boat 1, starboard boat, tacks in front of boat 2. So let's play this out. What happens? Boat 1 tacks. Boat 2 was fetching proper course. This caused a situation where boat 2 either had to take evasive action or got in a collision. So in this scenario, boat 1, the boat that tacked, you cannot tack in front of somebody and have them take action to miss you, or worst case, end up in a collision. Boat 1 would be at fault. Okay, so another scenario here that I have set up for you, a standard start line. We got blue boat and yellow boat here. Committee boat, start line, and pin. So blue boat, clear ahead, perpendicular line off the transom. Remember, that's really the definition of clear ahead, no overlap. Yellow has no overlap in this situation. But yellow boat's fetching the line. So yellow boat moves up, has an overlap, says up, up, up. You have the rights to push blue boat up and over the line, and that's actually what I want you to do, is to move him up. In this scenario, you try to do it in such a way that as the 1 minute countdown goes through, that you push them over the line and don't allow them to come back in. That way they're over early. You just eliminated that competition at the start. So we'll take a quick look at what we did. Actually, it turned out being previous couple weeks here based on weather. But what we tried to do is a box start. What did we try to do this for? The idea is to get you guys into what we call the parking lot, to get you in a good position to find your way to the line. And the box, the intent of the box is to hold you up to the line. So as you guys navigate around a couple minutes before the start, about 1 minute 30 seconds, remember you want to start finding your way into that start line box. That's where you want to get there. Last week, I did not intend to hold you in position on the line, but this week, that's exactly what we're going to do. I allowed you to be very dynamic in that start box, vying for position in the start box. So why do we focus on starts so much? Good starts, they really set you up to do well in the race. You get out front, you stay out front. It's a good feeling. Bad starts, you're always playing catch up, and it really turns out to be more luck. Somebody had a bad tack, you got a good shift. You're starting to play luck rather than skill from a bad start. Okay, so what are we going to do this week? So if you can see here, we've got coach boat, we've got a start line that we will try to establish, but we're going to have a couple extra buoys on the start line. Why do we do that? Because I want you guys to know where the line is. In a race, you'd never have this. But my intent is to give you a good visual of how to start judging, are you up to the line or not? So what we're going to do is the normal spot over here, and then I'm going to have you at 1 minute. Work your way up to the line. You should be on the line for a minute. I want you to hold your boat, hold your lane up at the start line for 1 minute. So doing this, you don't want to point straight into the no-go zone. You want to be slightly off the wind with your sails out. You can backwind the sail to back up slightly and just keep inching back and forth. You will tend to slide down the line. That it inherently happens. If you're in a bad spot and you can't hold that, bow out, spin around, come back around, and come up to the line. When you hear the 10-second whistle, I want you to get in the habit of starting to accelerate. Even if you go over the line, I'd rather have that than wait until the 0 seconds and then accelerate. That's not going to get you a good start. All right, what we're going to add to the drill here is also going to be a backing drill. So rather than sending the whole fleet up to the line to hold the line, I'm only going to send 3 of you into the time, much like the picture you saw earlier. The second coach, either Glenn or I, will be managing the rest of you, and we're going to be doing some boat handling skills, in particular low speed handling. Being able to get the boat back onto a starboard tack if it's trying to go over to port by backwinding the jib, or backwinding the mainsail and being able to back up the boat. So we're going to hold in the parking lot over here, and we're going to focus on those skill sets there. So you can see our wind here. Parking lot, where I always call it. The boat's going into the drill. Well, the coach will release you into the drill. The rest of you, you'll follow the coach's commands, and we will work on backing, slow speed maneuvering, and kind of hover over here in the parking lot. As the 3 boats that we released into the drill continue up to the windward mark and around, I'll release another 3 boats to go in, and we'll just keep working through that. So after you've completed the start drill around the windward mark, and come up around the windward mark and come back, come to the parking lot. Once we get through this a bit, we'll actually start into 3-minute start sequences and try to pull all this together. Okay, so homework for you guys. This will pay huge dividends. I need you guys to do some reading. It won't take you very long. Go out to the US Sailing website. Read 10 through 13. There are only a couple sentences each rule. There's some nice little illustrations there. There's even some videos out there. Could do a lot better than my PowerPoint animation. And rules 14 through 17, I need you guys to read as well. Tacking and overlap situations. They get into a little bit different scenarios than I want to get into here. They've done such a good job. I'm not going to try to recreate that. Just need you to go out and take a look at it. Looking forward to seeing everyone in practice.